everyone, it's Mary Brownlee, licensed professional counselor. Today we're going to be talking about core beliefs, specifically negative ones. If we have positive core beliefs, those probably aren't really impacting our functioning all that much in a negative way, but negative core beliefs sure can. And negative core beliefs are really those beliefs we have about ourselves and others and the world that really are a result of negative experiences in our life. So if we are complex trauma survivors and we went through layers of abuse and neglect in childhood, not just a couple of experiences, we're not talking about those. We're talking about lots and lots and lots of negative experiences over time. So what that does is it changes the way we see ourselves, and it changes the way we interact with other people and see other people. It changes our sense of identity and belonging in the world. And it really is something that can ultimately change who we are. And so this is something that, as a trauma therapist, all my clients at some point in their healing journey, we will be talking about their core beliefs and kind of how those have been impacted by their negative experiences, and also discuss ways of changing them. Because ultimately, I don't want any person, whether they're a client of mine or whether it's one of you out in the world, to truly hold and continue to believe terrible, untrue, painful beliefs about yourselves. So this is really what this video is about. We're going to talk about negative core beliefs. We're going to talk about where they come from, and we're going to talk about how to change them. And also at the end, I'll give you a personal example from my own childhood and my own experiences and share some cute photos of myself as a kid. So I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel. Your support is so appreciated. And without further ado, let's get started. All right, core beliefs are those that shape our thoughts. They shape our sense of reality and also our behaviors. They define our self-perception, what we think and feel about ourselves, our view of other people, and our understanding of the world at large around us. Think of core beliefs as a pair of glasses. So just like when we get a new pair of glasses, if the prescription is correct, we'll be able to see the world around us very clearly and really crisp, and our vision is enhanced. However, if we have an old prescription, or maybe we haven't gotten a pair of glasses yet, then things are going to be really blurry and fuzzy, and we're not going to be able to see things around us accurately. So that is very much analogous to our core beliefs and how they operate inside of us. If we have negative core beliefs, those are going to shape how we feel about ourselves and other people in the world, but not in an accurate way. So they're going to be like a foggy pair of lenses where instead of seeing things clearly and precisely, it's going to be distorted and untrue, and oftentimes even false. So it's important to note that core beliefs come from outside of us. We were not born with our current core beliefs. They happen due to our experiences in childhood and as we got older. And so if you had a safe and loving childhood, this is going to help you to develop positive core beliefs. So core beliefs, that you're worthy and valuable and lovable, and you'll be able to see yourself accurately. So it's almost acting like an accurate mirror, or again, the glasses that have the correct prescription. However, if you had childhood abuse and neglect, and again, these are those layered experiences that happen repeatedly over the course of your childhood where a parent was abusive or neglectful, you're going to have the opposite. You're going to have negative core beliefs. And instead of being able to see yourself accurately, you're really seeing yourself through a very distorted lens that is not true. So you're going to feel things like, I'm unlovable, I'm unworthy, I'm stupid, no one loves me. And these beliefs form the way not only you see yourself, but how you interact with other people around you as well. So these negative core beliefs really lead to us feeling poorly about ourselves. Other people can be seen as untrustworthy, and also the world, that we're not safe in the world. For an example here, say you have a core belief that says, I'm not worthy. And so here's a potential outcome of that belief. For example, your thoughts are going to be more pessimistic and critical and negative, both towards yourself and other people. Your emotions are impacted now, and you probably are going to be feeling depressed and sad. And then also your behaviors will be impacted as well. It will reflect your low self-worth. And for example, maybe you aren't very good at putting yourself forward for new opportunities because you fundamentally think you're not good enough. Or you just kind of continues the same self-defeating behaviors, for example. So negative core beliefs can not only impact our thoughts, but they also impact our emotions and also our behaviors. Some common negative core beliefs related to childhood abuse and trauma are things like I'm a failure, I'm unlovable, no one likes me, I'm stupid, I'm worthless, people can't be trusted, nothing ever goes right for me. And these are by no means all of them. These are just kind of a short list to give you an example of what some look like. The outcomes of negative core beliefs really impact us in the areas of relationships. Oftentimes, we get into relationships that are not good for us or perpetuate harmful behaviors from childhood. We're going to have difficulty with trusting other people, even trusting ourselves. We'll have difficulty with anger and other painful emotions. We most often become people pleasers and attempt to keep other people happy and get our needs met. We can have mental health symptoms like depression and anxiety. And if abuse and neglect was, very severe, you can even develop things like complex post-traumatic stress disorder. We're definitely going to have low self-worth. We'll be very poor at managing stress in our lives. Substance abuse is common. Suicidality can be common, especially if the abuse was severe. Feeling powerless, contributing to loneliness and isolation in our lives. And most importantly, our negative core beliefs prevent us from taking positive steps towards change. If we truly believe that we're not worthy or good enough, we're really not going to believe that we're capable of making change either, or we'll be very much like, well, I might as well just give up. So all of these negative core beliefs, as you can see, can really impact our functioning in very negative ways. But thankfully, we are not stuck with them. And as I mentioned previously, negative core beliefs really come from our earliest experiences in childhood. We are not born feeling and believing poorly about ourselves. These messages come from outside of us, and they're created from our life experiences, both good and bad. If we've had abuse and neglect in childhood, we're going to have negative core beliefs. And even trauma at later points in our life can also impact our beliefs about ourselves. All right, switching gears. How do we change our negative core beliefs? I want you to try this little exercise here with me. We're going to try and identify what your unique beliefs are. I want you to go find a pencil and paper if you don't have one nearby. I want you to jot down some negative experiences you've had in your life. And then I want you to write down any beliefs that might have come out of these negative experiences. Feel free to pause the video and just give this some thought for a few minutes before continuing if you'd like to. Now we're going to look at what some of these beliefs might be. And again, feel free to pause the video if you would like to think about each one of these questions for a minute. How has this negative core belief impacted your life? Has it impacted any choices you've made in your life? Has it impacted relationships you have had? How does this negative belief make you feel about yourself? Do you feel this negative belief anywhere in your body? Does this belief change the way you see yourself? Does this belief empower you, or does it make you feel helpless? Does this belief help you, or ultimately is it hurting you? Is this belief even true? And how can you know if it is true or untrue? Is there any evidence to support the fact that it's true or untrue? One of my favorite and very simple ways to challenge any negative core beliefs is the following test. You're going to think to yourself about any particular core belief that is harming you. You're going to think to yourself, is this thought true? So first of all, many of the thoughts we have can't even pass that test, right? They're not even true. But let's say you have a thought that might be true. Say, for example, you can tell your boss doesn't like you. Well, my boss doesn't like me. Okay, that might be true, but then it has to pass the second test. And the second test is this thought even helpful? So my guess is thinking about your boss not liking you probably creates a lot of distress and emotional pain. And so I would put that in the category of unhelpful. So in this case, the thought might be true, but it certainly isn't helpful. And because it cannot pass both of those tests, it has to go in the garbage because it is not serving any useful purpose for you. So this is just a very simple, example I use. But for an example, a word, the core belief related to like unworthiness, like I'm unworthy. This one is very easy because, yeah, we can see the thought is not even true, that of course you have worth. I mean, we could immediately discount that. Even if you feel that you're unworthy, rationally, we know, of course you have worth. You're a human being like any other person on this planet. Of course you have worth. And then is the thought helpful? Well, of course not. That one's easy to refute. You walking around thinking you're unworthy and feeling that is not helpful whatsoever and probably causes a high degree of distress. So this is just a very simple way of challenging some of the automatic thoughts or negative core beliefs that we have about ourselves. And again, if the thought can't pass both the tests, it goes straight in the garbage. All right, I wanted to give you a personal example from my own life to help further make this topic understandable in an easy way that hopefully will help you kind of relate to your own core beliefs and make them kind of easier to understand as well. All right, so when I was a kid, in general, my family treated me like I was stupid or wrong. I frequently felt like I was too sensitive. I was more emotionally open and vulnerable than a lot of my family members. They would label me crazy, and I definitely felt not good enough. So again, childhood abuse and neglect is really about repeated behaviors over a long period of time from other family members that lead us to feel and believe that we are not worthy. Or any other number of negative core beliefs. And then what happened was I went to grade school and I got bullied for about 7 years of grade school. And that even further compounded my already negative beliefs about myself. And so some of the beliefs that I developed was that, my voice was not important and that others were always right. And of course, I felt like I wasn't good enough, amongst many other negative core beliefs. And essentially, this impacted behaviors as well as emotions. So I started to be really quiet. Not only was I naturally introverted, but now I was even more quiet. I wouldn't add to any conversations, especially with family members, since, my voice was dumb and stupid and I didn't know what I was talking about. So I started to just kind of become more and more of a wallflower. And then, even more sadly, I started to ignore my own needs and feelings. I learned that they were not important or valuable to other people and that they actually got me shamed or criticized. So I really started to keep all of them to myself. And then as I got a little bit older, I developed poor boundaries. So more abusive individuals entered my life, unfortunately, and I was letting people walk all over me. I really didn't have the ability to recognize abuse quickly and easily and dump those people out of my life. Nope, I would put up with it repeatedly and be harmed even more. So, additional layers happened. I developed people-pleasing habits to try to be loved and to feel safe with others. Basically, I have no needs and let me just take care of everyone else's needs first. Depression and low self-worth definitely developed. Self-hatred definitely developed. And I began to have difficulty with connecting to other people and feeling safe in general. And I had a straw that breaks the camel's back moment when I was a young adult that finally resulted in me having full-blown complex post-traumatic stress disorder and all the symptoms associated with that. And eventually a complete loss of who I was as a human being and who I was authentically and my sense of self. So that completely ruptured. And thankfully, I was smart enough to go get help and obtained a therapist, and my self-healing journey began. And so let's talk a little bit about that too. All right, before we talk about recovery, I wanted to do another quick exercise. I often do this exercise with my clients in therapy because it's really helpful. This is a cute picture of me. I think I was 5 or 6 here, and I think it looks like I'm helping my mom do some dishes. But take a look here at this innocent child before you, right? You're probably easily able to go, oh my gosh, what a cute kid. She looks so sweet. And then I want you to ask yourself, would I say to this child in front of me here the same things that I tell myself? You probably wouldn't, right? Would you call this child ugly? Would you call her stupid? Would you tell her that she's wrong for having emotions? Yeah, right? How many messages did we receive as a kid that we would never in a million years tell an innocent child standing in front of us the same things? So this is an important reminder of just how pervasive the thoughts and feelings about ourselves are, that sometimes we need kind of an exercise like this to snap us out of it. Like, oh my gosh, no, of course I would never, ever want another child to feel and think about themselves the way I think and feel about myself. Yeah, I hope this was helpful. All right, on to recovery. This is a page where I want to thank all the wonderful individuals in my life that helped me heal. So just as we were damaged by our earliest experiences with negative and abusive caregivers and family members, the wonderful news is that we can actually heal through positive and loving experiences later on in our life. And that's exactly what happened to me. People like my workplace friends, bosses that I had, my therapist, and even half siblings that I didn't grow up with and were blessed enough to get in contact with as a young adult. And I still have really great relationships with them today. And again, my own kids and husband as well. These are just some of the people in my life that were healthy as well and were able to reflect back to me my own worth because they had a solid sense of self and were healthy and loving. They didn't treat me in abusive and negative ways. And instead, what I learned was I am worthy of love. I am a good person. My ideas are important to other people. I am worth being treated well. And so what I love about the, hope for healing from these type of negative core beliefs is that not everyone that we come across in life is going to be damaging and harmful. And we will learn discernment and be able to protect ourselves from those type of individuals when we do this type of healing. And what will happen is that your life will begin to have room for healthy and loving and positive people. And these people will absolutely treat you with dignity and respect that you always deserve to be treated with. So yeah, I hope this was also helpful. So over time, with these wonderful, healthy people, my negative core beliefs changed into new and positive core beliefs. And instead, now, I have core beliefs related to feeling lovable and feeling smart, feeling worthy. I recognized that people actually enjoyed being around me. So it wasn't like I was crazy and too sensitive and wrong, that, hey, people actually enjoyed me and who I was. So fundamentally, that meant I was okay. There was nothing wrong with me. They appreciated my ideas. They loved me just as I am. They didn't expect me to change. And they added meaning to my life, and they taught me that I added meaning to their lives. So as you can see, all of these new core beliefs are so beautiful and healthy and kind, and how they can completely transform the way you might see yourself and the way you would see the world and other people as well. All right, let's recap and summarize everything we have learned so far. Negative core beliefs come from outside of you. You were not born with the negative core beliefs you currently have. Negative core beliefs do not represent self, energy, or authenticity. If you are interested in learning more about IFS, which is all about finding self-leadership and restoring our authentic self, I will drop links below in the description for you to check out. I use IFS with all of my clients. It's a wonderful method for healing a lot of those negative core beliefs as well. Negative core beliefs do not represent truth. In fact, oftentimes they're complete lies about who we are. Abusive people will treat us according to their own self-development. This is so key for abuse survivors to recognize, that how other people treat you says nothing about you. It says more about the abusive person and who they are as a person. Yes, that is true, but it actually says nothing about who you are as a person. Abusive people do not have a sense of self. They're not in touch with their own authentic personhood, and they oftentimes have their own set of very negative self-beliefs and wounded parts that cause them to behave in very harmful ways towards other people. It actually has nothing to do with your inherent worth as a human being. So negative people will treat other people negatively. It has nothing to do with your worth. Let that one sink in. And that it is possible to heal with healthier outside information and experiences and relationships. And thank goodness for that. We are not stuck feeling and thinking horrible beliefs about ourselves for our entire life. We can absolutely transform them. I would like to end this video with one of my favorite quotes from Brene Brown. She is such an inspiration to me. When you get to a place where you understand that love and belonging, your worthiness, is a birthright and not something you have to earn. Anything is possible. And so that's what this type of trauma healing has to offer us, that we actually deeply understand and know our worthiness. And from this beautiful, centered, courageous, compassionate part of us, we are able to go out in the world and operate in the world with a sense of purpose and meaning and a sense of compassion for other people and ourselves. And it deeply adds to our happiness as a human being. And all of us, this is our birthright. So if you have abuse in childhood, I don't want that to be your legacy. You can absolutely heal from the trauma of your past and step into your inherent birthright of worthiness and self-love and purpose and meaning. I hope you found my video helpful. Please leave a comment if you would like to, or any questions. Feel free to like and subscribe. Your support is so important for growing my channel, and I so appreciate all of you. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.